Greetings and welcome back to It's Your Time, where we're focusing on taking back control of your God given time. Hi, I'm Sean Episcopo from NoHusbandLeftBehind.com. In this video, we're going to talk about a very important area that we're going to title First Things First. And to get started, my friend, I want to remind you that it's very important that we always invest time into our marriage. So, for those of us that are married within the No Husband Left Behind community, I think it's the most important aspect of our reason for being here, right? Is that God has put us together and paired us off into couples, if you will, and we work together as life partners for the glory of God. Now, I want to make sure that I say it that we should be doing things for our spouse, but I think it may be even more important that we're doing things with the spouse, our God given spouse and life partner. So, over the upcoming week, I want you to consider doing something for your spouse and also with your spouse, which hopefully both of you will enjoy. Now, remember our focus within the It's Your Time program is taking back control of your God given time. This is not just about time management, my friend. It's about you having control of the time which our wonderful Heavenly Father has given to you. Now, within this particular video, when we talk about first things first, I want to make it very clear that there's a big distinction between needs, wants, and desires. And granted, it's your time. You can put whatever you want on your calendar and do whatever you want with the God given time that you do have. I'm just going to ask you to make sure that you're scheduling your needs first. Whatever it is that is critical to your survival in every aspect of this human experience. And then everything else can come on the list afterwards. The reason why that's so important is if you don't schedule the needs first, it's going to be one of those things. Maybe you'll think about it days, weeks, months, or even years later when some aspect of your health and well being has taken a toll. And we don't want to wait until that point, my friends. Let's be very proactive right here, right now, okay? Now let's talk about the human experience. That the Bible talks about different components. The first one is spirit. This, my friend, is your connection to God. The Bible talks about God breathed into Adam the breath of life. And it's very interesting when we read it in the book of Genesis that from that point on, it seemed like spirit continued. Even though that one breath went into Adam, it was passed on between Adam and Eve through their children, generations that have continued on all the way up to you and me. And it's fascinating. This spirit within inside of us makes us very different than animals and plants and everything else that we see and experience in the world where we live. But this is your connection to God. Now, there's also a component the Bible calls soul. This is your connection to you. This is the part that's uniquely you. Each and every one of us is so incredibly different in one way or another. We might look a little bit alike in some points. We may talk a little bit alike certain times, or we find groups of people that we click with more so than others. But each of us is uniquely, distinctly, individually ourselves. So the soul is that connection to you. The Bible also talks about the body. This is your connection to earth. Since God created man and his body, if you will, from the dust of the earth, there is a connection that we have in order to stay here within time and space. So this physical body that we have that's part of the human experience here on earth, this is also very important to maintain. And then lastly, I want to talk today about the part the Bible calls flesh. For those of us that are married, this is your connection to your spouse. So for those of us that want to fulfill that part of the two become one, this is perhaps the area where you might want to be focusing. Now, the assignment over the upcoming week, I really want you to identify one area for improvement. Now, there's no reason to be overwhelmed and try to do everything at once. And perhaps over the next 4 weeks, maybe you'll do one each week. Or if you just want to take one and focus on it for a time. let's just focus on one at a time. But maybe you're more interested in spirit or soul or body or flesh. Now, let's say you might be thinking, well, I'm considering maybe working on my spirit, my connection with God. Well, perhaps over the upcoming week, you might want to consider spending a little bit more quality time in the Bible, God's holy word. This will give you some wisdom and insight into the thoughts, that have gone into, what it is that we're supposed to be going through, especially like throughout the New Testament with, what the apostles and other disciples did, just learning from the experiences of others, good and bad. Perhaps you might want to consider upping your prayer time, spending a little bit extra quality prayer time alone where you have minimal to no distractions, just pouring out your heart to God, what's on your mind, what you're focusing in on, or just taking that time to listen and to hear. Maybe you just want to spend a little bit of time of worship, maybe play some praise and worship music, just enjoy something in the background, even while you're relaxing and, during that time of prayer. Now, perhaps you might want to focus on your soul over the upcoming week, that part that's uniquely you. And, maybe you're thinking, your thoughts or something you may want to work on, especially at certain times. Maybe Monday is different, perhaps than Saturday, right? Maybe your words, certain things that you're saying, maybe your deeds, certain things that you're doing. Let's give ourselves a little bit of grace. This is not an easy life when there's so many distractions around us. But perhaps there's some area that you see within yourself that you might want to just work on over this upcoming week. Then again, it may be that you want to work on your body, your connection to earth, perhaps your food choices over this upcoming week. You can be a little bit more conscientious of what it is you're taking in. Or, maybe it's exercise. You want to keep the blood flowing, right? Or maybe it's you got to make sure that you're getting enough quality rest time. It's not just a matter of run, run, run. And then lastly, perhaps you're considering within your marriage the area of flesh, your connection with your spouse, maybe your level of passion, maybe your quality alone time, and your level of intimacy. Either way, whichever one you want to focus on, spirit, soul, body, or flesh, we want to make sure that it's very clear, my friend, within this program that we believe that God, your creator, has entrusted you with your God given time. And truthfully, you will give an account for that, right? So we want to make sure that you are in the driver's seat. This is your God given time, my friend. We want to make sure that you are conscientiously deciding that you're making the choices that you feel are truly best for your life today. And remember that within the No Husband Left Behind community, we do monthly trainings for continuous improvement. You'll find these on YouTube, and feel free to share these with others. It never hurts to go through a training with a buddy, and maybe the two of you can do, the homework assignment together, just to, iron sharpens iron, right? Or one may see things a little different than the other, and you help one another through. For those of us that like that additional support and or accountability, there's also group coaching available. This is a smaller, more intimate group on Zoom, but I want you to know that it is available if and when you need it or want it. Now, either way, to stay in the communication loop, make sure you're on our email list. So if you haven't enrolled yet within the program, if you will, visit the website IYT, which stands for It's Your Time, dot nohusbandleftbehind.com. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything else, whether now or in the future, make sure that you let me know. I want to be sure that you're getting all the resources that is available to you. And if you'll take a moment to like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, always feel free to share with a friend. And lastly, for additional resources and or to connect within our community, we would love for you to visit our website, nohusbandleftbehind.com. This is where you're going to find additional resources as we post them periodically. And, you can always stay connected with what's going on. But I want to thank you, my friend, for your time, for your interest. Just remember to focus either on spirit, soul, body, or flesh in this upcoming week. And we'll look forward to connecting again in the future. God bless.